It's not a good look for the Washington Post to be calling for Republican leadership to come down on other Republican elected officials and the party members themselves. But it's not exactly the good looks that the Washington Post ever looks for. It's just the correct opinion to have for the party. The party is always correct, and so the Washington Post will tell you what the party wants you to know so that you can always be correct as well. They say the House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, who pushed the big lie that the election was stolen and voted to overturn the results, met with Donald Trump on Thursday, even though the discredited ex-president incited a violent insurgency that left 5 people dead and scores wounded. Really? I'd like to see that highlinked. I'd like to see the hyperlink on that one. Why isn't that done? That is the leader of the House Republicans. That is the Republican Party of 2021. It is no wonder that the Republicans cannot summon the nerve to throw out conspiracy theorist, an anti-Semite Republican. Wait, hang on a second. Marjorie Taylor Greene's not an anti-Semite. That's defamation, and she should sue. Even after her remarks endorsing political violence were unearthed. After all, they might have something to do with about a whole batch of their members. They might have to do something about a whole batch of their members, she says. Really? I can point to like 18 different examples of violent rhetoric from the left from the last 4 years. Do we need to go through the whole batch of them? No. Jennifer Rubin doesn't want to do that. And frankly, neither do I. This is just one story. But the next one is kind of the bigger one. And it is the next step of what she was calling for. We must excise anyone in the Republican Party who does not support the establishment Republican Party talking points, their views, their ideas, their beliefs on history, on anything else. That includes capitulation in saying the election was not fraudulent, the votes were not stolen, mail-in voting is good, 2 + 2 is 5, all of the other non-truths, whatever you'd like to call them. They demand that you say what you know in your heart and mind and soul to be wrong, because that is how to demoralize you. Get you to repeat the lie over and over again. You'll start to believe it yourself. So they say, we're going to force out the fringe of the Republican Party. Can you exile your toxic supporters? You've done it before. Tell us, Washington Post, show us the way. And by the way, I'll just say this. This graphic, are they trying to make us look like, oh, we really want to be this old and gray, wizened elephant with the glasses on his forehead, and he's clearly wrinkled, he's beaten up. That's the guy we want to be? And we're trying to get rid of the one who's clearly got tons of attention. He's got a lot going on here. Stripes, teeth are shown. I don't know how you would say that for an elephant. Also, this doesn't quite look right, but I like the look of the elephant on the right a little bit better. I think he looks a little bit more damaging. And by the way, look at the trunk. We're gaining ground here. So is this the old party pushing out the Patriot wing of the Republican Party? Because if so, got news. We're not going anywhere. Not leaving. So strong that we considered starting our own party to fuck you over. And instead, by the way, PG-13, I'm allowed 1. I just used it. But this does not mean that, now because they're not starting their own party, they're going to get booted from this one. No. It's just we realize that we have more than half of the body in terms of what the body politic believes. The most of the Republican voters voted for Trump. Proof, statement, fact, okay? If Republicans want to say, well, let's just go start our own party, you may not get some of those life-end Republicans to leave and go. It's a lot easier to say, Patriots, we will stay in this party, and we will look for that Patriot Party candidate. Within the Republican Party, there has to be a Patriot caucus who elects that nominee, and then the Republican Party can vote for them. That is how this will work. But the Washington Post is not so sure. This is from Matthew Dalek. He is a historian, full-time professor, and not exactly the best well-researched guy. I get that he is working. He's at the Graduate School of Political Management. Oh, nice. Studied at Columbia, very fancy, and then got his originally his undergrad at Berkeley. Well done. So it's not a stupid guy by any means. I'm not saying he's dumb. I'm just saying he doesn't know how to research, because in this article he says the GOP faces a battle for its soul. On the side of Trumpism are self-styled militias at state capitals, QAnon chat rooms about the fictitious deep state, And then January 6 rioters, white supremacists and their allies, as well as the officials who defend the set, the 97 of the 207 House Republicans, 208 now, 22nd in New York, baby, who voted against the impeachment. So he's listing all the people. These people and the Oregon Republicans who approved a resolution calling the Capitol a false flag operation organized by Donald Trump's enemies to harm his reputation. Yes, all of those people are within the Republican Party, he says. Except, hang on, fictitious deep state? Dr. Matt. This is from just December 2nd of 2020. New York Times openly saying deep state exists and they're on a roll. In fact, Fauci and other glorious cogs of the political machine that never leave, the bureaucracy. Trump was right about the deep state, sort of. There exists in government people and forces rigged to foil disruption, but the deep state isn't, as he suggests, a reflexive defense of the corrupt status quo. It's a righteous defense against the corruption of democracy, which he continues to attempt. Corruption of democracy. Hey, if the people voted for change, we're not going to do that. We're going to foil that disruption. It's disruptive to the status quo. The machine keep on moving, regardless of who's at the pedal, right? And if you disagree and you think that that's just recent, back in 2017, here's Politico. Deep state is real. It's just not what you think. Again, more of the, okay, yes, so there's clearly evidence of a deep state, but. The deep state's not evil. In fact, they're working for you. They're working to protect you because Trump's got you tricked, but we know what's better. Hell, he practically called for a coup. Okay, referring to John Brennan, that's Rush, because John says that anyone who's still embedded within the executive branch, they have an obligation to refuse to carry out any outrageous or anti-democratic orders from President Donald Trump. It's a nice doublespeak when the democratically elected president gives an order and you say it's an undemocratic order. Therefore, you don't have to follow it. Really, the bureaucracy exists, and it exists to refuse to carry out the orders of the president, John Brennan says. So Rush said, yeah, that's a coup. And I agree. I think that would be considered calling for a coup if you said, hey, deep state, can you help us out? And then for years, they're on a roll, is reported. But hang on, Matt says they're not even real. This is the opinion of the person who's telling you the Republicans need to get rid of anyone in their party who doesn't agree with the establishment. If you're not a pro-Republican establishment person, you're not going to be a Republican. Just like if you didn't vote for Joe, you ain't black. So, what do you think in the comments? Let me know below. Like this video, share this video, and subscribe to this channel. If you are watching this on BitChute, fantastic. Thank you for subscribing, because check this out. We're jumping way up. We're almost to 400 subs. Would love to see that number pop. And over here on Rumble, we're almost to 500. We're at 478. Keep that up. I love it. If you jump over to YouTube, we're almost to 3,500 subscribers. That's huge. So thank you for doing all of that. And then over on Odyssey, this is the smallest one, but I think we're over at like 238, 237. Okay, so I was jumping the gun. I'm hoping that that'll be you. Join me and help me keep America afloat.